it's interesting to see how the development has happened on Thika Highway.
Yes.
The other day, this road before it was expanded.
You cannot imagine how it looked like.
Yeah.
I posted a picture to some group the other day saying, hey guys, this is the road I used to drive to through and going to Muranga not so long ago. Yeah, look at it now. A lot has changed.
The time to invest is now.
The time to invest in now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's talk about Riruta and draft.
Yes.
Yes.
So Riruta is interesting to me personally, and I always remind people. Remember, I grew up in the area. Remember, I schooled in Kawangware, which is not in Kawangware Primary, which is not very far from Riruta. Yeah. So I would say Riruta, because it's where I was born, is an area that I'm very passionate about, but also that I know very well. I know its history. I know the sort of demand tenants have for it and what drives it. For historical reason, Riruta, because of its proximity to Lavington, Kilimani, Upper Hill, and what used to be Milimani then, and the CBD, it was then very popular with people working in the CBD community and Upper Hill, Kilimani coming this way. It was always a very popular, even when I was growing up as a young child. So majority of the tenants then were working in that general direction.
Is it Riruta satellite?
It's Riruta satellite. You'll be surprised where the name comes from. So there was a satellite. Yeah. And the Riruta is exactly to reroute, as they'll say. Oh. So, kuna route. Yeah. So there was a rerouter satellite somewhere around there. So of course the Kikuyus or whoever was living there thought it the Riruta satellite. So then it became called the Riruta satellite. So it was always, I think, even pre-independence, and certainly since 1960s, it's developed as, because of its proximity to the CBD and Upper Hill, it has always been very popular with people who work there. And now because of the expanded Waiyaki Way, Westlands is very close, especially to this particular site. Because from the site to Waiyaki Way is about a 5-minute drive, or you can walk if you want. Then the expanded Waiyaki Way to Westlands is another 7 or 8 minutes drive. So you are very close to Westlands on the left, very close to CBD and Upper Hill on the right. Then because of those historical reasons, it's been served by a lot of schools, high schools and primary schools. From this site, where the site is, our neighbor is a private school called Harvard Academy. Not Harvard University, but Harvard Academy. But a very popular, academy that does very well. There are about 5 public schools, primary schools, within a walking distance. Precious Blood is within a walking distance, as is Dagoretti High. So it is surrounded by a lot of schools and malls, of course. There are a lot of malls, not just within the nearer Kawangware market, but Junction Mall is also a walking distance from there. So from that perspective, it's been a very self-sufficient sort of neighborhood. And for that reason, then we saw it as a good location and neighborhood where we would want to be, or where our investors, people looking to own houses to rent, would want to be. In any case, if you look at the entire Naivasha Road from Junction driving towards Riruta, it has a lot of nicely upcoming middle-class apartments. It's transformed very well. And on the other side, Waiyaki Way. So I think Riruta was a natural consequence of that development. But what makes it distinct is, unlike most developments where you have a small piece of land, half an acre or 1 acre to develop, this is one single 7-acre piece of land, which allows, and it's very green. It's still virgin. It has never been farmed. So when we took it, it was still a forest. So it's very green. And in fact, the whole thing is anchored on a large mogumo tree that is there and that we are going to retain. We are going to retain most of the indigenous trees. So when you get 7 acres, you are able to master plan the entire development and focus not just on houses, but the amenities. When you are growing up, our estates had places we could play football, hide and seek. You could ride bicycles and do all the fun things boys do. But you see developments nowadays, if I have half an acre, I can barely provide parking. So I don't think about children. And all they do is play in the parking cabro. But the 7 acres now allows us to have dedicated green parks. In fact, around the Mogumo tree, we are creating a nice Mogumo park for children to play. So there's a whole children's play area, an outdoor gym for you and I to do our usual outside mazoezi. There is a park for people to tell their stories, have an estate campfire. So it's going to offer that. And the message we are giving is we are institutional. Affordable does not mean a compromise on the quality. So from a quality of life, you are living as good a quality of life as somebody in Lavington or wherever, but more affordably. We started at a price point of 1.9 M for studios, about 4.4 for a one-bedroom, and about 5.9 for a two-bedroom. That phase 1 is pretty much fully sold out and now under construction. So it's a nested actually. The other thing to mention about it, it's not a single block of apartments you do, then you move away. It's an estate. It's an estate that will take us, the next 5 to 7 years to develop. When it's fully done, it will be about 1,100 apartments of different prices and different typologies, anchored on a Mugumo Park. In fact, we call it the urban oasis of Riruta because we do not believe today anybody has the amount of land to be able to create that sort of ecosystem that we are designing for the Riruta project. It's called Kesa, Kesa by Vida, and we are very proud of it.
Awesome.
Yes.
My goodness. Yes. And you've already broken ground.
We've broken ground. It's very advanced from a construction perspective.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the show house is ready?
So the show house is ready. Any investor can then visit and see what we are offering, and you will see the quality. For an affordable housing, the quality that comes out tells you this is done by an institution. The office is ready as well. So if you go there, you'll find our office. Our staff are based there. You will see the model of the entire estate when it's fully done. And you'll be able to see the Mugumo Park. We've already started doing that in Mugumo Park. You'll be able to see it. So one can then envision what the estate will look like when fully developed. It is my policy that regardless of where I'm developing, it should be a place I can live. My family and I can go live there. And that's a standard we've set for Kesa and any other project that we are going to. That now I'll have options. I want to live in Riruta. Then I tell the family, let's move to, yes.
And now the rafter.
Yes, so currently then under construction are those 3 projects, the Amaya, which is the phase 2, the 237, which is the affordable at Garden City, and the Kesa. So those 3 under construction. Now, of course, then we have to move to the next phase of pipeline development. And there are about 3 projects now on the pipeline. The one you keep mentioning, Rafter Road, I think you'll buy a home now that you keep saying Rafter Road. We are at design stage of a nice boutique sort of mid-market housing that will come up along Rafter Road. Probably by April, May, you will see a bit more about it in the market. We will start selling in the market. So that is a mid-market product, not that different from this, maybe a bit more tailored to the clientele that buys there. And the reason we do that is because you have, different segments of buyers and preferences on location. And there's a segment today that loves the wider Westlands location. So you have to speak to that segment of the market, and that is there. The other area we are very interested in is along Limuru Road, which is now under expansion to a dual carriage road, which will go meet the Northern Bypass, which has been dual, the Northern Bypass, which has been dual, at least a part of it, and the Western Bypass. So in the wider Ruaka, then we have another nice master planned development we are looking to do. In fact, it will be called Kesa as well, Kesa Laika. So we have Kesa Riruta. So soon you'll then see Kesa Laika within the wider Ruaka area. Again, it will be a nice mid-density master planned community. Like any other standard we hold ourselves to, it comes with amenities, and therefore you'll buy more than an apartment. We'll give the right amenities and green spaces to have an overall quality of life for people who live within our estates.
Awesome.
Yes.